Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today is the day that I finally get to make the quilt jacket for my friend's sister. If you are new here, hi, my name is Shellee and I run a small business called Soulful where I hand make bags and accessories, and I've never done anything like this before. I haven't made a quilt jacket. I don't have much experience with bias tape. I don't really use any bias tape at all in any of my products. I think I'm on this channel, I made bias tape one time and then I used it on a heart bag. Let me show you real quick. So I made this heart bag here on this channel and it just unzips. And then I kind of made like my own. So let me try to get it to focus. So you can see that it went okay. I did the white thread so y'all could see it on video because I did this on video, but I've also watched a couple of YouTube videos, so I'm pretty confident that I'll be able to do this properly as far as the bias tape goes, because I always hear that people have a hard time with it. So I definitely did when I made my own. But so just to recap, I am going to show you guys which quilt I'm going to use. First things first though, I need to tape the pattern pieces together. I wanted to wait and do that in the video too, just to show you the process. We're going to put all the pieces of paper together, we're going to tape them together, and then I'm going to cut it out, and then we're going to cut out the quilt, and we're going to make the jacket. I'm super duper excited. She is probably 5 foot, maybe like 5'2". I'm really not sure, honestly, maybe shorter. And she's pretty small. So I think what I'm going to do is make the small size of the jacket. So what I'm going to be doing is using a pattern that I paid for on Etsy. So I bought this pattern on Etsy and I really liked the whole vibe of the jacket. She wanted something simple, and this is definitely looks super simple. And so I love how it looks. So I think that that's the one that I'm going to use. I did buy another jacket pattern. I'll pop that on the screen too, but I'm not gonna do that jacket pattern for her because she doesn't want trench coat style. She just wants like a regular short jacket. So I'm gonna do this one that I got on Etsy from Rosie's Patterns. I think it's Rosie's Patterns. Hold on, she has her logo on here. So it is Rosie's Patterns. So yeah, this is what we're gonna be using. This is the layout. Let me just show you the layout of the pattern real quick. So super simple. We've got the sleeve here, and then we've got the jacket pieces and the pocket. So I am actually very confident that we can finish this entire jacket today. So let me show you the quilt that we're going to use again, and then I'm also going to show you 2 of the bias tapes that I bought for this jacket, and then I'll show you which one she's going to go for. First, let me show you the quilt, and then I'll show you the bias tapes. So here is the quilt again. You see it? Perfect. So here is the quilt again. I love this. This is full of pinks and blues. I love all of the patterns on here. I think this is going to make the cutest jacket for her. And I know for sure that I'm going to have leftover because I'm going to be doing the small for her because she is very small. So honestly, she could probably fit into an extra small, but I want her to be able to be super cozy in it. Maybe wear like a hoodie under it if it gets too cold, stuff like that. So I'm going to go with the small for her. And then the 2 bias tapes that I got to match are going to be like this pink and blue color. So these are the bias tapes that I got. I love both of these colors. And they both go so good with the quilt, you can see here. So I think she's gonna go with the pink. So that's what she told me to do. So that's what I'm gonna do. And I'm glad she picked the pink because I love pink. So before we get into the fun part of cutting up the quilt and getting everything ready, I have to go put the pattern pieces together. So I think what I'm gonna do is probably use my dining room table and take advantage of that space. Normally I do it on the floor, but my back is killing me. So I do not feel like sitting on the floor or anything like that. So let's go to the dining room. So real quick, if you have, sorry, this is gonna be awkward, but if you've never put any of these paper patterns together, I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna be doing real quick because I'm probably gonna speed run through this process. So you wanna make sure that these black lines right here are lined up with each other, okay? So if it makes it easier for you, then what you can do is on one of the pages, because you don't have to do it on both, but like every other page, if you want to trim where this black line is, just so you can see it line up better, you can do that totally. But what I'm going to do, I'm just going to tape them together right here, and then, you know, just do it that way, because I'm pretty familiar with these paper patterns, so I don't think I'll mess it up. I used to jump without looking. Didn't care if I fell too hard. Now I keep my hands in my pockets. Overthink every scar. I've traded daisy chains. All right, I'm all done getting all of these pieces taped together. What I'm going to go ahead and do before I cut them out is I'm just going to take like a marker and draw in these lines just to make it easier where the paper overlaps. If you cut off your little ends on the paper, then you won't have this issue. The lines will go together. So I'm just going to go around here and then just kind of trace these lines better and make sure that it's all filled in, like right here too, where these diagonals are. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we can start cutting this out. All right, so I've got all of my lines drawn in. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now is cut out all the pattern pieces. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut like the pieces out first, and then I'm going to take probably like the rotary cutter and then doing like the more precise cuts. Where did she go? That's where she was just here. So now I'm just going to use my rotary cutter to cut out this pattern and make it easier. Alrighty, so what I'm gonna do is this half. So one of these pieces needs to be cut on the fold. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is fold this way. So I'm gonna fold this way. I'm gonna line up these pieces. Here's the fold. That corner is just. So I think I'm gonna make my first cut. Hold on, let's see. Let me get this cutting mat. Okay. Okay, so let's lay out the cut on the fold piece. This one. See how that looks. I told her I wanted to try to keep this scalloped edge for her and see how it ends up looking. Okay. Okay. I don't know what I should do. Should I keep the scalloped edge? Or should I just bring the pattern piece up here and not keep the scalloped edge for the jacket, but keep it for, you know, something else? I don't know. What should I do? Should I ask you guys? Will you respond? Okay, let me check. Okay, so I went ahead and asked for y'all's help on my community post. So I'm going to give it a little while and kind of see what y'all think. I'm going to get some things done around the house, and I will get back to sewing. Well, not sewing yet, because we got a lot of cutting to do. Okay, it's the next day. I did not get to work on the jacket at all anymore yesterday. I had some personal things to take care of, so I am back in the studio today, and I asked you guys if I should keep the scalloped edge or not, and it looks like y'all think I should keep the scalloped edge, so that's what I'm gonna do, and we're gonna see how it works out. If it starts turning out not how I want it to, then I'll end up cutting the scalloped edge off. So I'm basically just gonna give it some extra length with the scalloped edge. I'll just do the pattern piece up higher to where the scalloped edge basically like stops. So just in case things start to be a little weird, I will just be able to cut it and just call it a day. So let's go ahead and get this blanket folded up and the pattern pieces laid out to kind of see where to put them, just to, get the most out of this beautiful quilt. All right, so I have the front and back mapped out on the blanket. This is the back part. It wants to be cut on the fold, so I have it folded along this edge. And then I'm gonna line up these sides because they're basically gonna get sewn together. So I feel like that would just look very seamless. And then I'll probably use one of these fan pieces for the pocket because I kind of want to try to like line up the pocket pattern, like where the pocket would be with the panel. So we'll see if I can do that. I feel like it might be a little challenging, but we'll see. And then yeah, I'll do the arm probably a little just further down because I don't have any room right here to do it. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get this cut out. Okay, so for this like front edge, you can kind of see what I did here. This is the line I'm gonna follow. So I did do a couple over here, but then that kind of looked weird, but I feel like this line is going to just be like seamless with the scallops, and I think this is gonna end up turning out so adorable. Okay, so I have all of my pieces cut out. I have the two pockets right here, and then I have my sleeves, and then I have the front panels and back panel right here. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do is pull up the instructions. I think the first thing on the list is to get the pockets ready. So iron down the seam allowance and then fold back this part. So I'm not sure how I want to do the pockets actually. So I think I'll just stick with how the instructions say because I didn't know if I wanted to do bias tape on the pockets, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to, maybe I'll do bias tape going around this edge. We'll see. It doesn't say to do the bias tape, it just says to fold it down and then fold these little edges. So I'm gonna look at the instructions and then I'm gonna get started putting this jacket together. I'm super duper excited. It's looking so nice. All right, so yes, the instructions said to start with the pockets. It wants me to overlock the top edge and then fold it down to where the pattern piece is. And then I don't have an overlocker, but I'll just do the overlock stitch on my sewing machine, which should be fine. And then it said to start doing the bias tape band along the bottom of the sleeve. And so I'm gonna start off with those two steps. One more thing, look at these sleeves. I really love this cross going down the middle of each sleeve. It just gives me such good vibes. I love it.
Guys, my age laugh at my jokes, treat me like one of the bros. Think I'm cool, but they would never date me. 'Cause girls my age have tiny waists, skin tight denim, baby faces, dance at the bar like no one's watching. But I'm just a flower on the wall, not someone.
So here's what that overlock stitch from my sewing machine ends up looking like. So it actually looks really nice and clean. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and fold it over like the instructions say, and then just stitch along here. And then I'll go ahead and probably trim the corners and then start folding it in just a tiny bit. It said like a 1/4 inch, I believe.
Fall for it, but in a couple weeks, you look at me. When I get pretty, then you'll want me. I'll be picture perfect to make you happy. I'll be dancing, center of attention.
So what I decided to do for these pockets is just do the double top stitch up here at the top. So you can see that I have it stitched pretty close to the bottom of the fold, and then I have it stitched up another time. And this just helps keep it together better and keep it more durable because it is a pocket. She's gonna be putting her hand in and out a lot. The pattern says to like fold it over about a 1/4 inch. So I'm gonna go ahead and just leave these little edges clamped down because this is the thickest part of the fabric. So I wanna make sure that I'm able to sew that in pretty good. So that's what I'm doing is I'm gonna leave that clamped for now while I finish this other pocket.
Vision of the woman that you wanted me to be when I get pretty. Maybe once I'm beautiful, I feel like I'm good enough. My insecurities wouldn't get the best of me. Baby, I'm out of this world. Doable, your cover girl. Wouldn't have to work 'cause I get things for free. But I'm just a flower on the wall, not someone you'd ever fall for. But in a couple weeks, you look at me and I get pretty, then you'll want.
Okay, so I am loving how this is looking. I'm glad I did the pocket to match the print. I'm like literally obsessed with this thing. I'm so sad that I can't have it, but it's fine. It's going to a loving home and she's gonna love it so much. I'm gonna have to make me one and eventually, obviously, because I'm so busy, but loving this. So I'm gonna go ahead and sew these pockets on and then we'll move on to the next step.
I'll be picture perfect to make you happy. I'll be dancing, center of attention. Vision of the woman that you wanted me to be when I get pretty. When I get pretty. When I get pretty, then you want me. I'll be picture perfect to make you happy. I'll be dancing, center of attention. A vision of the woman that you wanted me to be. When I get pretty, then you want me. I'll be picture perfect to make you happy.
All right, so here is the progress so far. I went ahead and I got the 2 front panels sewn onto the back. Let's give her a spin. So this is what the back is gonna look like. I am actually so happy that I kept these scalloped edges, and the way I cut it, I feel like it's just gonna line up perfectly. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these arms put on and then hopefully get this finished today. I am gonna add some buttons, so maybe I'll go ahead and ask you guys which buttons to do while I'm getting everything else done. I'm super proud of myself with this bias tape, honestly. I feel like I'm not doing too bad of a job for my second try ever with bias tape, even though my first try was with bias tape that I made and it wasn't like as thick. So this one seems easier to handle. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do the other sleeve. Now that I've got both of the arms attached, I'm just gonna go ahead and close up the sides right here, all along that edge. And then I will just put some bias tape on the trim. And then I'm gonna do the scalloped edges as well, all in bias tape, because some of them are a little messed up. Like there's parts of it where it's like maybe coming apart a little bit. So I'm just gonna get it all nice and cleaned up. Okay, I've got both of the arm sides sewn on and the bias tape on. I'm actually really proud of myself, so this is looking really good. I'm gonna go ahead and flip it right side out and then start to get some bias tape ready to do the trim. Okay, unfortunately I was not recording myself putting all of this binding around the trim, but I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is just set this on my mannequin and finish it tomorrow. I have everything pinned in place, so all I need to do is just top stitch along here, and then we'll add the buttons, and then it'll be all finished. Okay, so it's the next day. I did not finish last night, but I'm about to finish right now. Look how cute it is looking. Okay, the last thing I need to do is just sew on this bias tape and the buttons. And I asked you guys what color to do the buttons, and y'all voted to do blue. So I'm gonna do the blue buttons, and I think it'll look super cute. I really hope y'all enjoyed this video. I had so much fun making this quilt jacket. Y'all have no idea. I want to make so many more. Not only this style, but the other one that I got. I want to make some of those because I myself love a trench coat longer style jacket. So I definitely see more of these on my horizon. If y'all enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to leave me a like. Comment down below what your favorite part was, or if you just love this jacket. Also, don't forget to subscribe on your way out. I enjoy making videos for you guys, and I want these videos to reach the people that want to watch them. So thank you guys so much for being here, and I will see y'all in the next video.